Hey, what's up guys? My name is Alex from Lightbox. In today's video, I'd like to share with you the most valuable color grading tips when it comes to using DaVinci Resolve 17, so buckle up, it's gonna be great. As you can see here, I already have a video which I filmed for one of my clients. Though it is filmed vertically for Instagram Reels, it is a perfect example, so I'm going to use it. Let's say, for example, that you would like to add glow to your video. Then, as you can see, even if we play with a shine threshold, the problem is that there is a lot of highlights in the background. Therefore, if you go down for the glow effect to affect your subject, you will blow up the highlight completely. There is an easy fix for that. First of all, we can go to qualifier. Then we can either click here on highlight, or we can click Shift H on our keyboard to see what this node will be affecting. As you can see here in the bottom of our qualifier, we have a line which says luminance, and what it does, it affects the highlights and the shadows of the current grade we chosen. This white area affects highlights, this is midtones, and this is our shadows. At the moment, as you can see, our lines spread from shadows to highlights, so it means that whatever we do in our node which we selected will be affecting the entire image. Here we can drag the right side of our luminance, and as you can see here, it stopped affecting our highlights but only rather affecting our subject. As you can see, the highlight becomes grayed. This is when it is affecting your highlights, and this is when it is not affecting your highlights. Then we can unclick our highlight right here to see how the entire image looks like, and then we can continue dragging our luminance till we like the results. For example, we don't want it to affect her hair. As you can see, when we were dragging this luminance, there is a weird artifact on her forehead. We can fix this as well. If you drag this softness of your highlight, then as you can see, our artifact disappeared. And then this glow effect affects only our subject and these things which are in our shadows. And you can play with your shine threshold and it will not be affecting your highlights at any point. This trick is very useful whenever you're filming your subject outside or next to the window or next to something which you don't want to be blown up by some effect you add into a footage. I use it a lot, so you have to do it as well. The next thing I highly recommend you playing with is blending mode. Let's say, for example, you would like to add glow effect to your subject. Here, you can play with shine threshold and you can play with spread, for example. But as you can see, at the moment this effect is too strong for your video. Therefore, we can go to global blend and we can dial it down until we like the results. And as you can see, even if we make it like this, before and after, this effect little by little makes your footage. I haven't been using blending mode for the longest period of time, and now I use it every time whenever I'm not satisfied with an effect I'm using. If you are like me and you like playing with curves, then you are gonna like the next one. Here, let's go to our curves, and usually we make S-curve like this. And this is not the best way to do that. Let me reset that one, and you can click here on three dots and you can enable editable splines. So whenever you click on your highlights, for example, then there is a point to be dragged, and if you click on your shadows, there is another point which you can drag, and you can make a very pleasing results, a very smooth S-curve with that. Whenever you are using editable splines, you get a very pleasing results in your footage. I highly recommend you using it. This one I learned from Quasi. If you like playing with glow, then this one is for you too. We need again to go to our effects library, we need to add glow to our node, then we need to change our shine threshold to 0 and spread to 0. Then we need to scroll down a little bit and we need to change composite type from add to soft light. And as you can see, it makes a huge difference in our footage. Again, if you think that this effect is too strong for your footage, you can go to global blend and you can dial it down a little bit until you like the result. I usually like to keep it around 0.5. And this is the way how you can use glow as a contrast for your footage, but in my opinion it makes your colors far richer and the result is more pleasing than using the contrast itself. The next trick I found out not that long time ago, but it was a huge saver for me. Here in our color grading tree, you can see there are two dots in here. If you click on this dot, and if you hold your mouse there, you can see there is written timeline. Then you can add another node here by clicking Alt-S on your keyboard. And here, for example, you can add an effect, let's say film grain. Then you can play with the grain size, with the grain strength, whatever. The point is, whatever node you are using in your timeline grading tree, it will affect the entire timeline you are working with now. So it means all the footage you have in the current timeline. And this was a huge saver, especially when in the end you would like to add grain and you don't have to go group by group or clip by clip and add in a separate node to each one of them. This is the way how you can easily apply grading to your videos. You can go to your gallery, and here you need to choose stills. And let's, for example, say you like how you graded this video, so you can right click on it and grab a still. Then let's say, for example, you have an ungraded video. You can either right click on it and apply grade, which will apply everything you had in your previous grading to the video, or an easier way, and the one I prefer, is you can simply middle click on your still and it will apply your grading straight away. I like knowing tricks which save you some time, so I hope that you're enjoying. Let's, for example, say that you have more videos in your timeline and you would like to grade a specific one. Let's say you have a lot. This trick is for you. Here on the right side you can click on Lightbox and you will see all the videos you have. It is enough to select your graded clip with a left click on it, and then you can hold Command or Control on your keyboard and you can select other videos. And then you can middle click on your graded clip. It is very important to click on your graded clip with your middle mouse button, and it will automatically grade it the other clips you selected. And you can click here on the Lightbox, and as you can see, all of our videos are automatically graded. This trick will save you a lot of time whenever you have a lot of videos on your timeline, and for example, one piece of a video you put in the beginning, one in the middle, one in the end of your timeline. So instead of searching it here in Color tab in DaVinci Resolve, you can go to Lightbox, select clips you would like to grade, boom, it's done. The next trick is very important because it affects our noise reduction. Here we can go to our motion effects. Here we can find our noise reduction. First of all, I highly recommend you use a noise reduction at the first node in your color grading tree. This will usually give you the best result. Then you can play with frames and everything else. This is not what I'm going to explain because you can make a separate video on that. What I'm going to explain to you is that here on the right side, as you can see, there is a noise reduction, and usually there is a lot of noise in our red channel in our footage. Therefore, we don't actually need to play with our luma, and we can break this chain and play only with our chroma. Our chroma will mostly affect our red channel compared to other channels, and this is how you can clean your noise. Actually, you can find Quasi on the YouTube. I will link the video for the noise reduction down below. You can check here, it explains everything in details, but believe me, this trick worth it. The very last thing I highly recommend you using is using masks in the color tab to emphasize your subject. You can check my video on how to do masking in DaVinci Resolve in the color tab right here or right here, I'm not sure, but let me show you what I'm talking about because it can make such a huge difference. Here, as you can see in the end of my color grading tree, there are two masks. The first one makes everything what I don't want to be in the footage darker around our subjects, and the second one highlights our subject a little bit. And in the end of the day, you can see how huge of a difference it makes. Let me play it for you. This is it, guys. This is the main color grading tips and tricks I learned so far, which I use quite often, and I think that they are very valuable, and I hope that you will be using them as well. As always, if you enjoyed the video, if you enjoyed the footage, this is my own footage. I like using real-life examples which I used in my videos, in commercials, reels, for influencers, it doesn't matter. I hope that you enjoyed this material. I film only whatever I film is I think is really important. And if you did enjoy it, please leave me a like, comment down below, consider subscribing to my channel for more upcoming useful content, because I will be sharing my journey, my tips and tricks, not only how I color grade, how I use DaVinci Resolve, but as well as how I grew my business, how I started, how I find clients, what gadgets I think are important for YouTubers, for filmmakers, and this all comes from a beginner filmmaker. Let's build a community, let's share. If you know something, please tell me in the comments down below as well. Just now my girlfriend called me and said that our car broke up and she cannot drive, so I'm finishing this tutorial and I'm going to help her. As always, it is a pleasure serving you guys, and until next time, nashledanou.